Optimizing your digital presence online with an effective strategy is not a conversation at all. Like it's not a conversation because you're not having an argument about it. You're doing it. If you want to run a successful business, that is. But did you know that there's a thing called neuromarketing that you can leverage to enhance that digital presence? Well, there is. And that's why we have Maliha here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you. Maliha, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much, Shauna. Hi, everyone. My name is Malia Farouk. I am the first certified NS MBA certified neuromarketer of Pakistan. I've been a marketer for the last 16 years. I've worked with legacy and startup firms, trying to get them on board and trying to churn out some meaningful marketing. And yes, this is why I'm here, and I'm excited to have this conversation with Shauna and all of you.
I love it. This is beautiful. Now, what about neuromarketing? Because that's like next level business. I mean, when we're talking about showing up online, a lot of people are just thinking about the bare bone basics. Let's create a post, let's publish it. Let's not necessarily think about what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening in my brain as a person creating the marketing, but in the brains of my viewers, of my
Viewers.
readers, of my audience at large. What are they thinking? How are they receiving this? Not just as a face value type of thing, but as a subconscious realization of self and connection. That's deep.
Absolutely, absolutely, Shauna. So, when we talk about neuromarketing, and this is a question I get a lot. What is it? Is it a fad? What exactly is neuromarketing? So I'll break it down into something very simple. Neuromarketing is how we combine the studies of how our brain works to churn out, exactly as you said, marketing campaigns that create value. So, when I speak of neuromarketing and when I combine it to the marketing principle, it is exactly what you said. And it is not only, limited to digital. It is not only limited to traditional marketing like TV and radio. It is engulfing all aspects of marketing where you are now looking from the lens of your audience, exactly like you said, but also trying to understand where in that brain lesion does your marketing message resonate? Does it stay? And where does it come back as a long term memory for it to get converted into a sale? And at the end of the day, that's all marketing is, right? We're all looking for that one sale. So that's as simple as I can put it. That is what neuromarketing is.
And that's, I think you've done a fabulous job at simplifying that, because truthfully, when I reflect on my background in neuroscience, there is a lot involved in each of those steps. You really need to have a firm understanding of how humans in general interact with the world on a biological level, but then also how your ideal audience interacts with the world in a biological and subconscious level. So that's very powerful. And your background, your experiences leading up to the emergence of you being an expert in this, is the only certified woman in Pakistan. That's already a story unto itself. And I'm going to go ahead and say probably one of the things that has given you a more comprehensive grasp on how this works on an interpersonal level, on a human level. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Absolutely. When I did my first course in marketing, which was way back, I understood it. I understood the fact that marketing is always not losing that human touch. And whether it was in the copies that we wrote, whether it was in the visuals, whether it was in the text, whether it was now in terms of digital posting times, peak times, whatever. So I feel that I could relate a lot more to the concept of neuromarketing and sort of take it back to my experience of handling initially very traditional media when I initially started off as a marketer. Then moving on to very basic digital, where it was only, Facebook and Facebook posting and that. Then moving on to advertising on social mediums, which is social media advertising. And then moving on to something much more than that, which we all call personalization, right? So we're all in a world where we crave personalization because we are bombarded on a daily basis, you and I, with multiple marketing messages. um, some of them, like I said, resonate. Some of them leave that impact on you, and some of them, unfortunately, they just pass by, right? So, understanding how, as a human, I can churn out those marketing campaigns that actually, you know, um, not resonate also, but also leave a lasting impact on my audience, which at the end of the day are all human beings, right? Having their own mood swings, having their own likes, their own dislikes, having their own liking in the moment for a particular thing. For instance, I'll give you a small example. We all know about meme marketing, right? And we feel that it's probably one of the greatest viral methods that you can use to make your. But sometimes a customer is not in the mood of a meme. They're
Fair?
not in a mood to for a laugh. What they're in a mood of is something probably very deep. What they're in the mood of is probably something that they want to understand in a very short span of time, um, even if it's something as basic as a call to action. They don't want to find it. They want it to be right in front of them when they look at it. So you have to understand that moods change, likings change, and so should an evolution of your marketing content. Have I
Absolutely.
answered it? Have I answered it, Shauna?
You have given so much more than just the answer.
Great, great. I was
Um,
hoping for.
yeah, no, that was beautiful, and I mean, I know that you've navigated a lot of things within your own life,
Yep.
making sure that you are seen and heard as the authority that you are, the intellect that you are, the impact maker that you are. And there are many people who are watching today who are struggling with that. And we know that marketing is a really key part of that. And it's
Yep.
not just big M marketing, which is what we've discussed so far. Is this big M marketing? How are you business level marketing yourself?
Yep.
But this is
Yes.
also the little M marketing with how are you interacting with others and yourself within that dynamic, within the landscape that may present you with challenges that are either unforeseen or some of them expected. Is there anything you can reflect on in your own journeys, becoming the expert that you are, that might help those who are watching today to really step into their authority and really raise their voice about the thing they know best to make
Mm.
sure that others start understanding and seeing them as the authority, and coming to them for the guidance and support that they know they can provide?
So I think you raise a really good point, Shauna, because whenever you're speaking of authority, and lovely words that you spoke about me, thank you very much. However, I just feel that even if you are a domain expert, there's always a way of bringing your knowledge onto the table, right? And I think this is something that the viewers and anybody who's actually trying to get something out of it can learn. I've never ever walked into a room trying to force my authority. I've never done that. What I have tried to do is that I have, in terms of the kind of legacy projects that I've brought to the table, obviously, marketing is something that goes viral, right? If it's something good, and it goes viral if there's something bad as well. So you've got to be very very keen on, very very.
Isn't that the truth?
So I have never ever tried to thrust my authority on anybody, whether it is my team members who report into me, whether I'm in a board level meeting, whether I'm they're presenting an idea that has a financial impact or otherwise. I've always talked with facts and stats and figures and with actual business and use cases. And I think that is something that we need to push more in terms of trying to make people understand and trying to make people, relate to our point of view, and hence, accept that we are a domain expert or we are an expert in that field. So just a few days back, just to give you an example, I knew that something that the team had brought up would probably not fare too well, because a couple of things that they had actually missed out. But I let them do that because I'm also a very strong supporter of learning from your own mistakes. Because if you do that once, and you understand that the analytics have not really gone into your favor, it always sticks around there. It will always stick around, rather than me, holding a ruler in my hand trying to tell you do this, do that. So I think a lot of authoritative figures that I have worked with, a lot of mentors, this is what they've taught me, that you have to put your point across in a way. And another thing is that if you're in a room full of people, you have to lower your level to the level of the people who are actually listening to you. So you have to make sure that whatever you are saying is understandable and comprehensible to each and every person who is seated there, rather than throwing your own jargons and throwing your own difficult terminology that we tend to do in order to make people understand how much we know. So I believe that rather than doing that, if the people who are involved, who are in the room, can understand what I'm saying, they can buy into what I'm saying, I think that is validation enough that I'm the expert in the room.
I love that. And just to kind of reiterate a few of the points that you brought up that I think were really golden for anybody who's feeling unseen, is just this idea that uh, you're probably feeling unseen because you're trying to be seen.
True. Yes,
And I think that's right. It's that double-edged sword, and that it's important to, and this will not be news to anyone, to meet people where they are.
yeah,
Right, that is so important. All you need to do, and this, and I want to also address, of course, the elephant in the room, and that is imposter syndrome. There are a
yeah,
lot of people who are fearful of not being seen as the expert. They
yeah,
want to be seen, but they're not. Well, the fact of the matter is, and I think you illustrated this with your example, is that you only need to be like one or two steps ahead of the person who you're coaching, consulting, however you're helping
yes,
them, right? You
yeah,
only need to be a few steps ahead of them in order to be an expert by contrast, right?
yeah,
Because context is everything. And so if you're able to meet them where they are, give them the next best steps, you're already
you're
winning.
already there.
You're already being seen as an authority. I used to have this problem, and you may be able to relate with this. Um, I would ask people, this was back in my full-time copywriting days, before I really emerged as the branding and marketing person who I am. But um, let's say we're writing an email sequence, and I would ask my clients, what is the first step, the tiny baby step that a person needs to take when they come into your world that we can
Yeah.
illustrate for them and take them on that journey? Now, inevitably, every time, without fail, they would tell me step 382. Right? And I say, oh, well, that sounds really cool. And the person you're trying to meet is not there, friend.
No, not at
They're
all,
not
not
going
at
to be able to make that leap. We need to build the bridge. What
yeah,
is the actual first step? And it was like pulling teeth trying to get them to that
yeah,
first step.
yeah,
All this to say, you are the expert. You
yeah,
know way more than you think you know. And getting it, whittling yourself down to the point where you can be direct and concise and give people the opportunity to take that first step with you
yeah,
can be challenging. But that's why people like Malia and I are here. We are the guides in that space. We're able to show you how to really refine your language and your strategy on a neuromarketing level to make sure that you're connecting deeply with the people around you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is exactly where neuromarketing comes in, understanding your audience and understanding, because um, we all have a certain amount of decisions that we take at a subconscious level. We all do that. So trying to understand that if that percentage is higher than 50%, then trying to understand exactly what goes on behind it is very, very important also, because as you said, this is very important in getting that first step, but it is also very important in considering the full circle, where the end result happens to be exactly what you want them. In this case, if you want a listener to hear your podcast, in terms of a product, if you want them to just buy the product, be an advocate for it, be a loyalist for it, or just plain simple followership on social media. So this entire full 360-degree circle is what starts and ends with neuromarketing, because there's a brain that is making it, there's a brain that is perceiving it, and then there's a brain that is actually consuming it, and making that decision to take that action, right? So,
Yeah,
so this entire process is something that I was fascinated to know. And I don't know if many people know this, but the first few lessons, in fact, of my exam were pure biology based, because it was the entire study of the brain, trying to understand the different regions of the brain, where there is memory, where there is fear, where there is hope, where there is long term. How do long term memories, something that is in the long term memory, bounces right back. And this is where music comes in, or smell comes in, because I hope I know that you've noticed, smell takes us right back to the first time we smelt it. So does music. How does that happen? And all that happens in split seconds.
mm-hmm.
And that is what we need to capitalize as marketers, because if sound can do that, and smell can do that, then how do we churn our marketing campaigns to take care and to take these two very important notions into account? uh,
Absolutely.
so you see, this is where it comes in, and then there is an absolute not a course, but a considerable amount of time that is spent on neuropricing. What is the pricing that is going to appeal to Shauna, for instance, and she'll be comfortable paying it. I mean, comfortable enough to just pick it up and put it in a basket. And what will that tick off point be? After which she's going to reach, but she's going to think, oh, maybe I don't need it right now. I come back later. So it's an absolute science, it's an art, and then it's marketing combined. So, as difficult as it may sound, it's very, very interesting, because once you know this, you're gonna hit the nail on the head every single time. And as marketeers, you and I both know there's no greater high than a campaign becoming successful. So we all do
Absolutely.
that.
It's so true too, because then you see those numbers and you're like, okay, all right,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yes. It's like,
yeah,
I feel like it's just like when for me, I watch my husband watching sports.
yeah, yeah,
It's the same thing. Oh,
yeah,
I love that. Now, we have just covered a lot of ground. I feel like we've addressed a lot of different concerns with a lot of practical solutions on what you can do to think about your marketing and sales differently in
yeah.
order to make small changes that will make a big impact in your bottom line in particular, but also, in my humble opinion, in your confidence showing up in that space. So, what I would want to ask you though is
Sure,
if
sure.
there's something that I haven't asked you, that you really want to share with the world, that one thing that you're like, oh man, Shauna, like we've talked about so much, but this idea is in the back of my head. I'm going to leave you to think about that for a moment, because I
Sure.
know there are so many different opportunities to explore marketing from different angles. But in the meantime, I want to remind everybody that what we just discussed is just the tip of the iceberg.
It
And we
is.
have
It is.
it is. We have conversations like this every single week. And you can join the conversation, and you can get notifications that more conversations are coming. So subscribe, leave comments, tag us. We're not going anywhere, and we're here to watch you grow and thrive as you explore this world of branding, marketing, and business development. Now, with that, I'm going to put the ball in your court.
Sure.
Please share with the world what you need to share.
I think exactly like you said, Shauna. Um, um, you know, what we really, really need to do is join in conversations. And this is exactly where Shauna and I both come in, and we both resonate on the same point. I want you to join me on my Instagram. It's called Thinkers Digital, or join me at Mal Speaks. Leave a comment, leave a message, follow me, DM me, send me a comment, and I'm going to reply to that. And we can further these conversations, whether it is neuromarketing, whether it is in terms of any other marketing campaign that you would like to discuss, any other marketing ideas that you have. That you would want to showcase. How would you want to go around it? How would you want to take it on out to the world? Everything of that sort. I'm available on Instagram. It is showing on your screen right now. Please join and let me know, and we will further this conversation and at your convenience.
I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. And something that I want to kind of really reiterate here is that whole idea of conversations as a form of marketing. This is humongous. Okay, guys, do not undervalue
Yeah.
the impact of a conversation. Okay, I just want to put that out there, because there are a lot of people who think that they can just post and ghost and make success. That's
Yeah.
not the way it works. You need to have that connection. You need to have that conversation to really be able to achieve success in your
And
business.
and Shauna, just to add, this is also another aspect of neuromarketing, because as human beings, we crave relationships, right? And when we crave relationships, what do we do when we gather? We talk. It's a conversation. And that is exactly what I really, really encourage people to do. No question is out of bounds. No question is stupid. Just talk it out. And this is where I think you're doing a brilliant job in getting people more and more acquainted with the art of conversation, because that brings out ideas. It gives you ideas, it gives me ideas, and it gives a lot more people a starting point from our conversation. So we might think we've ended a conversation, you and I, but that can be a starting point for someone to take on something bigger. Really excited to be a part of this journey, and really excited for people to reach out with conversation topic points, which can be starting points for a lot of people. So, would
Absolutely.
love to do that.
I hope beyond hope that this does start a multitude of other conversations, a movement of conversations. um,
Absolutely. Fingers
I think
crossed.
that that's how we are going to create a positive change in this world, and that's how we're really going to make the impact we were meant to make. Thank you so much. With that, I want to encourage all of you to make sure that you're subscribing, following, joining the conversation. And if you want to dive deeper into what does it look like to really refine my brand and show up in a way that feels true to me, and to actually convert in a way that feels good too, because that's a huge contention point for a lot of people. I get it. I get it. Then reach out to me directly. Go to shaunalee.com, SHAUNALEIGH.com, and start the conversation. With that, well, have a great rest of your day. Chat soon.